Be very careful about spending. If anything, just sit tight and go cautiously before you spend. Title I, those numbers are additional beyond what we would typically get. Each district gets about $65,000, roughly $65,000 in Title I. So those numbers are above what we had currently gotten. IDEA is special education money, and that's above. This is called Part B special ed, and it's above what we typically get. It's a one payment, and we're waiting for some guidance from the federal government, we meaning the state of Iowa. They're predicting that half of that may be able to be used as general fund money, not in special education. But that hasn't been accurately defined yet. And then if you take a look at the last piece is the cut in phase one. Some of you might have seen a press release today by the AEAs, the Urban Network of Schools, ISEA, ISB, and SAI, all saying that they're asking for a special session for legislators to come back and restore that. They stole it from schools, was the way the phrase was described. It's never going to happen. But schools are really, really hurt by this. Hurt in the sense that it's built into, about 90% of the schools have that money built into their salary schedule, and all of a sudden don't have the money. At SAC, it was all general fund money. At Wall Lakeview Auburn, half of it's general fund and half of it was teacher money, but our master contract at Wall Lakeview Auburn said if we don't get the money, then it isn't passed on to teachers. It's about $600 per staff member. But there were 46 schools in Iowa that had half the population of East SAC that lost $100,000 in money, all of it sunk into their schedule, and they don't know what they're going to do. And so it's very problematic for schools, and it was another one of the very end of the legislative session in the midnight hours of the budgeting, and it was a budget cut by the governor. So you can see the long and short of it. You know, you add some money and you take some money away. So the across-the-board cut of 1.5% was not restored. The teacher quality and the professional development part of it was, but the state aid part of the 1.5% across the board cut was not restored. So those are the amounts for our district. Those are pretty solid numbers. Oh, it's not solid as what we can really do with the money at this point. So, but again, we're just cautioned that we don't have any of it, and so we don't have to worry about spending it, and we should just take care in whatever we decide to do. Any questions about those numbers?
This must have all happened with standing bills at the end, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Chance on a special session.
Oh, I don't think there is either. I think it's the public outcry of what happened to schools, you know, that they supposedly fully funded 4%. Well, they didn't fully fund 4%. They funded about 3%, and it all came from the federal money, so it's no state dollars. Now the scare is what's going to happen next year. And then they didn't restate or backfill the 1.5% across the board cut, which we were told they were going to do. And then in addition, they took phase one away. So schools are going to get a lot of stabilization money, but all it's doing is taking the place of state money right now, and there's no plan for what's going to happen after that. So we were warned today to move very cautiously with teacher contracts next year in negotiations because they're telling us it's going to be a very rough 2 years in the state of Iowa economically as far as government state employee positions. So. And they just don't know how the economy will recover enough to produce enough income to pay for everything that they're obligated to. So we'll just have to see what happens. But this is what we know so far, and next month I'll probably know more, and I'll make sure that you know it. So.